Okay, time for a new video, and if this is the first video you've seen of mine, then thank you very much for checking it out. It's much appreciated. Do feel free to take a look at older videos of mine on my channel if you so wish. And if this is yet another video of mine that you're seeing, then thank you again for returning. And again, it is much appreciated. Today is yet another video in my ongoing series where I take a look back at older editions of the Eurovision Song Contest. I am now up to 2012, and of course that was the year in which Azerbaijan staged the show. First things first, I want to say, as always, apologies for the average quality of these videos and the fact that I don't edit them, so if I stumble over my words later on, I apologise in advance. So, the 2012 contest, I'm going to get straight into it. Apologies for any waffling. It was the 57th edition, and of course it was staged in Baku at the what was then newly constructed Baku Crystal Hall, which had a capacity of somewhere between 10 and 12,000 people for the three shows, the two semi-finals on Tuesday the 22nd and Thursday the 24th of May 2012, and then the final on Saturday the 26th of May. Sweden won very convincingly. The hosts were Leyla Alieva, Eldar Gasimov, who was one half of the winning duo from the year before, and Nargis Berk-Pedersen. 42 countries, Montenegro returning, no Armenia, no Poland. The stage itself, quite nice, sort of split up into these diamond prism shapes. And yeah, not much else to say with regards to that. I'm going to get straight into the songs. Do, of course, feel free to leave a comment letting me know your thoughts. So, I have information in front of me just to make sure I don't forget anything. Semi-final 1, 18 songs. As always, I'm going to go through the countries that didn't qualify first, beginning with song number 1, Montenegro. What a terrible Eurovision song to begin with. This was Rambo Amadeus with Euro Neuro. It finished 15th. With 20 points, so not last, not even in the bottom three. Unbelievable. This was clearly a jokey entry, a sort of middle-aged man who, with all due respect, looked as though he'd just stumbled out of the pub after a few pints. I think there was some sort of wooden horse structure on stage. He didn't have a great voice. It was very messy, very strange. Oh, I don't really know what else to say about it. It was just so all over the place. It was just so rubbish, for want of a better word. I think a lot of Eurovision fans would agree with me. This song finished 14th in the televote and 16th in the jury vote. Amazing that it didn't finish last here. Song 4, Latvia. This was Beautiful Song by Anne-Marie. It finished 16th with 17 points, so below Montenegro. This was a very gentle little song. Okay vocals, okay performance, a bit bland maybe. References to Johnny Logan and Mick Jagger, I think. Yeah, it was sort of her singing about winning the contest and going on to have this amazing career, pretty much. It did slightly better with the public. It came last in the jury vote. Moving on to song 7, Switzerland. A good song, unlucky to miss out. This was Sin Plus, two guys, with Unbreakable. It finished 11th with 45 points, missing out on qualification by less than 10 points. There was a sort of green colour scheme, fire. The lead singer's voice, it was a little hard to understand what he was singing because he had such a strong accent. But this was sort of pop rock, pretty good song. It would have qualified if 100% televoting, but of course the juries let it down. Song 8, Belgium. This is a very underrated one if you ask me. It's Iris, who was about 17 or 18 at the time, with Would You. It finished 17th with 16 points. Ballad. Extremely simple, very plain staging, maybe a little cheesy, yes. Vocally, okay. I just don't think there was much about it that was memorable, so people forgot about it very quickly. Coming after the upbeat Swiss song, not really a surprise people forgot, but still, criminally underrated. It finished last in the public vote with just 2 points, marginally better with the juries. Moving on to song 9, Finland. This is a classic example of a song that I didn't think much of at the time, but now really appreciate. This was performed in Swedish by Pernia Karlsson. It's called När jag blundar, which translates as... just give me a moment. It translates as When I Close My Eyes. Again, very simple staging. It was her and then a guy playing the cello. Very, very beautiful though. Very beautiful melody. Vocals were great. 12th place, 41 points. This did slightly better in terms of points with the jury. Probably should have qualified though. This was a reasonably average semi-final. And I think Finland could feel hard done by that they didn't make the cut. Nevertheless, 12th place, it's okay. Song 10, Israel. This was a band, Izabo, with a song called Time, performed in English and Hebrew. It finished 13th with 33 points. This was quite a jaunty sort of song. Male lead singer, couple of backing singers doing this motion down the runway bit. Clocks on the backdrop and all that sort of stuff. This did better with the juries. The juries put it 9th, the public 16th. Not much else to say here, just an average song, not one of Israel's best. Song 11, San Marino, Valentina Moneta's first bite of the Eurovision cherry. This was the social network song, originally called the Facebook song, I think, but it had to be changed for the contest because of names and all of that business. This was so strange. It was more suited to Junior Eurovision. You had some guy dressed up as a doctor. Lots of faces on the backdrop. It was, again, not quite as messy as Montenegro, but it was still quite messy and just really weak. It finished 14th with 31 points, doing slightly better in the televote. Not a great San Marino entry, though, let's be honest. And finally, song 16, Austria, Voki mit deim Popo, which means, I think, shake your butt. And it was performed, pretty much, it was performed by Track Shitas, wonderful name, 2 guys, performed in German, or more specifically, Mullviertlerisch. It finished last, 8 points with 18 points. Not really a surprise, although I don't think this song is that bad. It's quite fun. It's sort of, I don't want to say it's rap, but I think it's sort of veering into that territory. Couple of female dancers on stage, pole dancing if you want to call it that. Garish outfits. At one point, I think one of the guys' hats fell off. Yes, 17th in both sets of points, but last overall. It was never going to win, was it? It was never going to win. Anyway, that's semi-final 1. Semi-final 2, the countries that did not qualify. Song 3, the Netherlands, missing out once again. This was Joan Franke with You and Me. This was country pop, a rather extravagant outfit. Very sweet, but again, not very memorable. 15th place, 35 points. This did better in the public vote. The juries not liking it very much at all. Song 5, Belarus. This was pop rock, Light Sound, the name of the band, all male, with We Are the Heroes. Not a bad song, this. 16th place, 35 points. Slightly better with the juries, actually. Yeah, not a bad song at all, but missing that little bit extra. Song 6, this one's really dull in my opinion. It's my least favourite song of 2012. So apologies if you're Portuguese, but the Portuguese entry was Vida Minha, which I think means My Life, performed by Filipa Souza. And it finished 13th with 39 points, doing better with the juries, unsurprisingly. A ballad, quite a powerful ballad, but So forgettable, it has to be said. Song 8, Bulgaria. Now this song has a lot of fans. It's Love Unlimited, performed by Sophie Marinova, performed in Bulgarian, Arabic, Azerbaijani, English, French, Greek, Italian, Romani, Serbo-Croatian, Spanish and Turkish. So really trying to get votes from everywhere. It finished 11th with 45 points, missing out on the final on the tie-break rule with Norway. So very, very close stuff. It's the only time it's happened, I think, since the semi-finals were introduced, where the tie-break rule has had to be used, I think. This was sort of R&B, I guess. Don't really know how else to describe it. It did better with the public, a lot better with the public. I don't like this one very much. I find it quite average and messy and somewhat generic. Whoa, controversial statements there. I know a lot of people really love it, but I'm just not one of them. Song 9. This should have been in the final, absolutely. Slovenia, Verjamem, which I think means I believe, performed by a very young lady called Eva Boto. Yes, it means I believe. Performed in Slovene, 17th place, 31 points. Outrageous. It did slightly better with the juries, but even so, I can't believe this didn't qualify. I was very surprised. This song has fans. It's a ballad, very nicely performed, quite powerful, quite rousing. She was joined on stage by a group of other women. I think they were all in white. It's a good song. It's a good song. And sadly, completely flopped. A bit like Slovakia in 2010. Anyway, Song 10, Croatia. This finished 12th, 42 points. Nebo, which I believe means heaven, performed by Nina Badric. Yes, it means heaven or sky. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot here, but this just wasn't memorable enough. Okay voice. Everything else was rather plain. Nothing about it stood out. So it's not a surprise it didn't qualify. It would have done if 100% jury votes. They placed it 7th, but the public not so keen. Song 12 was Georgia, a bit of a jokey entry this, and a bit of a surprising entry from Georgia. Usually they send sort of high quality stuff, but this really wasn't. It's called I'm a Joker, performed by Andrei Jokadze, who was a backing vocalist for Diana Gurtskaya in 2008. This was performed in English and Georgian. It finished 14th with 36 points. He had quite a deep voice. He was strutting about the stage, a couple of women singing with him as well. I can't believe this. It finished 8th in the jury vote, which is really quite surprising. Last with the public. So, interesting discrepancy there. It didn't qualify anyway. And Song 15, Slovakia, their last Eurovision entry to date. I hope they return soon. Don't Close Your Eyes by Max Jason May. This finished last, 18th, with 22 points. This was heavy rock, metal. Very different. His voice wasn't the strongest on the night. I think that he was wearing some sort of black jacket, nothing else on the top half. Sort of long, messy hair. Flashing lights, as you'd expect. I really don't remember it too well. It's been quite a while since I watched the performance. It's really not that bad a song. The studio version's fine. Live, not so great. Last place, not a surprise. Just too jarring, I think, for the juries. And yes, it came last. So moving on to the grand final. I will try to be brief. Oh, I should say, the 2012 contest had some really great songs in it. Song 1, My Country, the UK. Engelbert Humperdinck, a man who was in his 60s or 70s at the time, hadn't had any major hit in the UK for decades, and yet the BBC thought, let's get him. The song was called Love Will Set You Free. Opening the show with a ballad, not a great choice by the EBU and the producers of the show, it has to be said. 25th place, so not last, 12 points. Really not a bad song, very sweet, very pleasant. He was joined on stage by a couple of dancers, then there were falling pyro effects. He really belted it out towards the end, and this is a man with huge amounts of experience. Sadly, nobody really cared much for him. It came last in the jury vote, slightly better with the public, second last overall. Just a strange choice of musician. Anyway, song 2. Nobody likes performing second, and it was Hungary's turn. A bit of a surprise qualifier. Sound of Our Hearts by Compact Disco. 24th place, 19 points. This was sort of light rock, to say the least. Not a bad song. I liked it at the time. I've gone off it since. Not one of Hungary's strongest, and in all honesty, Switzerland or Finland, probably should have qualified over this, in my opinion. Song 3, Albania. This is a love it or loathe it entry. Rona Nishliu with Sus, which translates roughly as, well, I don't know. I think it translates as, well, it translates as personal, but it's a Latin term. Anyway, wow, what an extraordinary song and performance this was. It was just her on stage, and it's all about the voice. What a voice. No denying it. What a voice. But to me, it sounded too shouty at times, and the song didn't really go anywhere, and I found it all rather quite dull. But some people really love this and really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I've just never been able to do it. It was performed in Albanian, and it finished 5th, which is their best result to date. 146 points. It did slightly better. Oh, it did quite a bit better in the jury vote. They placed it 3rd. So yeah, it would have been a very surprising winner, that's for sure. 5th place, quite generous if you ask me. Song 4, Lithuania. This was Donny Montel. Of course, he'd returned in 2016. This was Love is Blind. He performed with a blindfold on for the first part of the song. I always felt like this one was over quite quickly. Then he did some sort of dance moves, quite awkward dance moves, it has to be said. An okay song, but nothing really spectacular about it. 14th place, 70 points. 14th in both sets of results. Song 5, Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is a really dull one. Again, apologies. Maja Sar, who was the keyboardist the year before on stage with Dino Merlin. This was Korake Ti Znam, I Know Your Steps, performed in Bosnian. 18th place, 55 points. She was all in black, playing the piano, not much else. Slightly better with the jurors. Moving on to song 6, Russia. What can you say about this? A bunch of elderly ladies known as Buranovskie Babushki with Party for Everybody performed in Udmurt and English. It finished 2nd. Wow, with 259 points. This was receiving so much attention across Europe in the lead up to the 2012 contest because it was just strange seeing a bunch of old ladies singing a rather cheesy pop song, it has to be said. There was this oven on stage, they were baking bread, they were swaying about on the spot. It was so bizarre, it's so unlike anything that you'd perhaps expect to see at Eurovision. I don't know. I've never really liked this song very much. You can't take it that seriously. And the fact it finished 2nd above much better songs, I want to say it's a bit of a travesty. This song finished 2nd in the public vote, just 11 points behind the winning song in the end. Shocking. It finished 11th in the jury vote. Again, pretty ridiculous. It's not awful, but it's not that great. And if this had won over Sweden, uproar. Song 7, Iceland, my favourite from 2012, and I'm amazed this didn't do better. It had a lot of fans. The music video was directed by Iceland's goalkeeper at the World Cup. I think he was playing at the World Cup. Definitely the European Championships a few years ago. This was Greta Salome, who would be back in 2016, and Jonsi, who had performed for Iceland in 2004. This was Never Forget, performed in English, 20th place, 46 points, very powerful. Playing the violin on stage as well, Greta was, pretending to. Really nice, really good song this. Should have done a lot better. In the end, both the juries and the public didn't appreciate it much. I find that quite surprising. Early spot in the running order, was that its downfall? Who knows? Song 8, Cyprus. Big fan favourite, bit of a flop. This was Ivy Adamu, quite young at the time. I think she's probably only about 25 or 26 now. Shall we take a look? The song's called La La Love, 16th place, and 65 points. She's 25, so she's the same age as me. Slightly younger though. This song did slightly better with the juries. This was pretty good. Bit of choreography, good voice, plenty of energy, and yet 16th place. And yet Fuego last year finished second. Arguably a better song, let's be honest. But still, 16th place for La La Love. Should have been a few places higher. Song 9, France. Oh dear, 0 point in the public vote. I thought the live performance was a bit slipshod. This was Echo, You and I, performed in French and English by Anggun, who is an Indonesian-born musician. This finished 22nd overall, another disappointing result for France. 21 points. As I just said, last with the public, 13th in the jury vote. She was wearing a really bad outfit, sort of like she had this veil, I think, and she wasn't really wearing very much at all. And then there were these topless guys sort of doing all these dance moves. It was all a bit strange. It didn't really fit in with the music video much or anything. It was all a bit jarring. Nevertheless, not a bad song, but not that brilliant. Song 10, Italy. Expected to push for the win, never did. This was Nina Zilli with L'amore femina out of love. Love is feminine out of love. It finished 9th with 101 points. A bit Amy Winehouse this, in terms of vocal delivery and everything. Good performance, quite catchy. Bit of a retro feel, which is always nice. This song finished 4th with the juries, 17th in the public vote. That's quite surprising. But 9th overall is not bad. Song 11, Estonia. Now I must say that my personal top 3 of 2012 is interchangeable. It's Iceland, Estonia, and one other song that I'll mention in a minute. But this Estonian entry is absolute quality. Absolute quality. It's Kula, which means listen, performed by Uit Lepland. Amazing song. What a voice. Superb performance. You were captivated by him, and he just nailed it. The vocals were superb. Everything about it was wonderful. It finished 6th with 120 points. Started off very slow in the voting and then surged up. And I think 6th place is well deserved. 12th in the public vote, 6th with the juries. So at least the juries did appreciate that one quite a bit. Song 12, Norway, last place. This was the song that just qualified ahead of Bulgaria. Stay by Tuji, who I believe he is Norwegian-Iranian. 26th place, 7 points. This was sort of pop with a sassy edge to it. Not a bad performance. Vocally could have been a bit better. Ever so slightly better with the juries in terms of points. Last place, a little harsh, but somebody's got to come last, haven't they? Song 13, Azerbaijan, the host nation, ballad. I've never really been a huge fan of this, but I can see why people really love it. She had a sort of dress which had projections on it. Powerful voice. When the Music Dies by Sabina Babayeva, 4th place, another top 10 finish for Azerbaijan, and very impressive on home soil. 150 points, did better with the public. Song 14, Romania. This was Zalela, performed by Mandinga, quite a successful band, I think, in their own country, and a very beautiful lead singer, wearing an orange and black dress. There was a guy playing the bagpipes. Very catchy, very summery. Performed in Spanish and English, 12th place, which isn't bad, 71 points, This song finished 7th in the public vote and 20th with the juries. Not really a surprise there, but a good song. Catchy, fun, a breath of fresh air. Song 15. This is my other interchangeable number 1 of 2012. This was Denmark's Saluna Samai, who sadly hasn't released much music since. Born in Guatemala, should have known better, and the public should have known better. This finished 23rd with 21 points. It's a very simple, I keep using that word, but it's true, a very simple acoustic ballad. She was wearing a hat. There was a sofa on stage, I think. A guy wearing a purple hoodie. I think it was purple. Anyway, really pleasant. A very gentle ditty that really should have finished higher. But alas, maybe people just found it too dull. Simple as that. If it doesn't grab you, then you're going to struggle in the voting. And this song did slightly better with the juries. Still though, 23rd place, 21 points, that's poor. Song 16, it wouldn't matter because of course Denmark would win the following year. Song 16, Greece. This put an end to Greece's superb record of finishing in the top 10 year after year. This was Eleftheria Eleftheriou with Aphrodisiac. It finished 17th with 64 points. This was straight up pop. I suppose it was a fairly sexy performance. She was joined on stage by a couple of backing singers / dancers. Quite catchy, but again, just that something extra lacking. Nevertheless, 17th place, I think, would have been mightily disappointing for Greece at the time. Much better with the public. Moving on, we'll leave Sweden for a minute. Song 18, Turkey. Big difference here between the juries and the public. This was Can Bonomo, of course, the last Turkish entry to date in the contest. It was called Love Me Back. It finished 7th with 112 points. This was quite a happy, bouncy sort of song. They sort of made a very crude boat on stage at the end with their outfits, if I recall. Good voice, quite a charismatic performer. This finished 22nd with the juries, 4th with the public. If you ask me, fairly overrated. 7th place for this song, but lots of people really like it, and I can sort of see why. Song 19, Spain. Now, what annoys me is when people every year say, get rid of the juries. You need the juries for instances like this. This was Quédate Conmigo, Stay With Me, Pastora Soler, arguably the strongest song Spain has sent this century so far. It finished 10th, 97 points. What a voice. One of the best female vocalists there has ever been in Eurovision. That's a big thing to say, but I think it's absolutely true. Just amazing stage presence, wonderful, wonderful performance, such a strong ballad. This finished 5th with the juries, rightly so. 18th in the public vote. What? What? Ridiculous. What on earth is that all about? This is why you need the juries, because they appreciate quality. This was not appreciated in the public vote. I really don't understand why. Maybe you can let me know in the comments. When I saw those split results all those years ago, I couldn't believe it. 10th place is not bad, but it should have finished much higher. It should have pushed for the win. Should have pushed for the win. Spain, quality from Pastora Soler. Then we move on to song 20, Germany. Roman Lob, young guy. He narrowly won the German national final. This was Standing Still, co-written by Jamie Cullum, a British artist who admittedly hasn't really done anything of note in years. This finished 8th, 110 points. Pretty plain stuff. Nothing truly memorable about the performance, and his vocals, yeah, they're alright, I guess. This did pretty well in the public vote, 6th, 10th with the juries. Very nice song, built up well. Song 21, Malta, a bit of a surprising qualifier, but a worthy one, I think. Kurt Kalea with This Is the Night. Catchy pop song, good performer. There was this whole thing with their feet, him and the other people on stage, this little dance move. 21st place, 41 points. Not really a surprise that the song didn't surge up the leaderboard. but not a bad song at all. Song 22, Macedonia. Unbelievably, this is the last time Macedonia appeared in a Eurovision final, all those years ago. Calliope with Cherno i Bello, Black and White. She would return in 2016 but not qualify. This finished 13th, 71 points. Very good performer, amazing voice. I really like the ending to this song. Really like that. This did better in the public vote. What else can I say? Good song. Song 23, Ireland. Jedward were back with a song not as good as Lipstick the year before. This was Waterline, 19th place, 46 points. I just think it could have been staged slightly better. There was this whole thing with a fountain which they stood in at the end. Jedward have never been amazing vocalists, but at least they've got quite a lot of energy, and you could tell that they really enjoyed being there and they really wanted to do well. And the song finished 10th in the public vote and 25th, second last with the juries. Jedward would not be back. Song 24, Serbia, third place. That's a bit generous, maybe. 214 points for Nije Ljubav Stvar, Love is Not an Object, performed by that man again, Željko Joksimovic, second in 2004. He would co-host in 2008. He's also written other Eurovision entries. This song took a while to get going, but it's a fairly traditional, I think, ballad. Obviously, very experienced performer, very good voice, and quite a rousing song. But still, third place, I'm not sure about that. Third in the televote, and second with the juries. Impressive. 3 more songs to go then, one of which is the winner. Song 25, Ukraine, Be My Guest by Gaetana. Very powerful voice here. There were 4 LED screens on stage, a couple of male dancers, including, I think they all pretended to play the trumpet actually. 15th place, 65 points. Don't really know what to say about this one. 20th with the public, 7th with the juries. There was a big difference in the semi-final as well. I'm surprised the public didn't like this one more. I wonder why they didn't vote for it in such big numbers as the juries. I really don't know. It's not bad. It's colourful. The performance is very colourful. I'm not a huge fan of her voice, but there's no denying she had a good voice. Anyway, Song 26, Moldova, the last song of the 2012 contest. This was Lautar, which I think means... I'm not entirely sure what it means. I want to say that it means traveller. Could be wrong, though. Anyway, Pasha Parfeni, who would be back the following year on stage with Aliona Moon for Moldova. This was 11th place, 81 points at the end of the voting. Good song, catchy. This trumpet makes you mine, girl. Interesting lyrics, to say the least. Aliona Moon was one of the backing dancers, actually, for this. Very strange outfits. Good voice, charismatic. Always liked it. 11th place, very impressive for such a small country like Moldova. Anyway, the winner. I am aware this video is super long. The winner, Sweden, Loreen, Euphoria. Arguably the most popular Eurovision winner of all time. Certainly of this century. It won by such a huge margin, 372 points. It was obviously going to win. It was so obvious months before the contest that this would be the winner. Nobody was going to stop it. You can tell after just 30 seconds that this song is going to be a really good one. Quite mysterious, quite different, an interesting looking performer who was wearing this very flowy outfit. She was performing on this little podium. A guy joined her towards the end and he started swaying about. Fake snow. Very powerful voice, and I know it's cliched to say this, but a euphoric chorus. So powerful, so contemporary, so bang on. Everything was working here. Can you imagine if the Russian grannies had won over this? It would have been outrageous. I really don't have much more to say. Loreen, still releasing music today, of course, has tried to represent Sweden since, but sadly did not manage to do so. Euphoria, a massive winner, hugely popular. It did very well across Europe. It charted at number 3, I think, here in the UK. which is impressive for a Eurovision song. So, yeah, superb, superb. And it's a song that 50 years from now, people might still say is the best Eurovision song of all time. It's not my personal favourite, it's one of my favourites. And I was very happy it won, because it deserved to. Great song, wonderfully staged, powerful voice, good musician. Little else to say. Anyway, that's it. I do apologise for the length of this video. My goodness, I have waffled a lot. I must work on this moving forwards. At some point, I'll be talking about the 2013 contest, which was staged in Malmö. And, yeah, not much else to say. Let me know your thoughts. Should Sweden have won? Should Russia have won? Should the UK have done a bit better? Should Slovenia have qualified? What did you think of the hosts? What did you think of the stage? Let me know your thoughts. I am interested. This is the CD, by the way. I forgot to show that at the start. The 2012 CD. Light Your Fire, the theme, because of course Azerbaijan is known as the land of fire. All the songs on it. There they are. And that really is it. What a long video. I must now shut up and try and submit my university assignment. Oh yes. Until next time, thank you for watching. Really do appreciate it. And bye for now.